Alright, so this is my my video on 5 things about me. I guess there's supposed to be things that most people don't know about me, or whatever. Soulgotha actually tagged me, and I'll tell you, Soulgotha, if you weren't a really cool dude, I think you're a good guy, so I'm going to do this. Most of the time I would ignore something like this when people say, you know, you should do this, do that, or whatever. In fact, that's one of the things that I have. That was going to be my 4th thing, but I think I'm going to make that number 1. Things that people don't know about me. And this is probably self-serving, but my first thing, mine are pretty lame because, you know, there's not a lot of things about me that people wouldn't know, I don't think. I don't do a lot of things. I'm a simple guy, go to work, and most people know the basics that watch my videos anyways, that I was married and kids and army and Rubik's Cube and I can ride a unicycle and blah 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 blah. But the first thing I'll say is I delete emails and videos that people send to me without even like reading them or watching them. I have a friend of mine that sends me 4 or 5 emails at a time. He used to do it almost every day, and don't have time to be looking at all that stuff. When I see somebody sends me an email, says forward this to all the people you know, that's the first indication that I'm gonna put it in the frickin' trash. I mean, that's just the way it is. And you know, this tag thing, it's a little different. Like I said, if it wasn't Soulgotha, who knows, I might not have done it. But dude, you're a cool guy, so that's why I'm doing it. And it's kind of a cool idea, I guess. And I get to talk about myself, so. You know, I hate to do that, really. So that's my first thing. The videos thing, people on YouTube even that send me the videos. There's one dude, I'm not going to say his name, but I told him one time, I'm like, dude, you know I just delete these videos when you're sending them to me, right? And he said, you want me to take you off my list? You think? So if you're watching, I won't say his name, but you're wasting your time sending them to me. So, second one, and not to be a dick or whatever, but I'm just being honest. Second thing is I can juggle. I guess, I don't know, can I do it here? I can juggle. I got 3 golf balls, and I'll just do a little. I actually can juggle balls for like a long time. When I was in high school, I think I was like a senior or a junior, I brought 3 croquet balls in and juggled them for an entire period. My drafting teacher let me do it. I guess it must have been at the end of the year because, you know, normally he wouldn't have done that. But so I can juggle 4, but not for very long. But 3, I think I can go an hour, maybe. I'd have to wear glasses because, you know. Third thing, that was kind of lame too. My first 2 are pretty lame things, but you know. This third one's kind of funny to me. I once had a job that lasted 1 day. I quit. It's the only thing I ever quit. Like, it's the only job I ever quit, I think. Well, no, it's not the only job I ever quit. But I quit after 1 day. I was at Fort Hood, Texas. My my second duty station after coming back in the Army. But anyways, I was there. Got a job delivering pizzas. Or so I thought. A place called Mr. Gaddy's Pizza. I don't know if it even still is around. Their catchphrase was, gotta get a Gaddy's. And they had a t-shirt that said that. It was like, gotta get a Gaddy's. And that was what they gave me when I came the first night. My only night. It was a weekend, or a weekday. And there wasn't a lot of stuff for them to have me do. So they put me back dishwashing for like the entire frickin' however long it was, 4 hours. I hate washing dishes. I hate washing dishes at home, like plates and cups, and it's not so bad anymore, but I mean, they got a dishwasher, but this is like big frickin' kettles and pots that are nasty, and I just don't like dealing with that shit. And the manager came back and was up front with me. He's like, dude, I wash dishes here. I'm the manager. So you know you're going to be doing it. Everybody washes dishes. And that was enough to make me walk out of there, and I told the homeboy, I was like, dude, you know, thanks. I didn't ask for any freaking money. I guess I got my t-shirt out of it. So I washed dishes for 4 hours, so I could get my Gotta Get a Gaddy's t-shirt. And I wore that shirt for a couple of years, I think. So that's another lame thing about me. That's 3. The fourth one, I'm going to say that the fourth one is, okay, everybody that watches my videos knows that I was in the Army. I'm retired from the Army, which means just I did 20 years. Long enough to get a retirement pension out of the deal. But I didn't do it from the start to the finish. I actually got out. I had a break in service. I came in 82. Well, I joined in 82. Shipped out to basic training in the summer of 83. Got out summer of 87. And while I was out, I missed it pretty early on, first couple months. Camaraderie, working around aviation. You know, I really enjoyed working on aircraft and stuff. So I had a friend of mine come back to, he was stationed at Fort Drum. I was in Wisconsin at this time, living with my parents, and I was working as a Finnish carpenter. Not getting paid a lot of dough, like $4.50 an hour, I think. Which was a little bit above minimum wage, but not much. And so he was coming back to his hometown in Minnesota, and he was driving from Fort Drum, New York. And he stopped in Milwaukee and gave me a call at my parents' house. He looked it up and found my parents. He remembered the town I lived in. And I answered the phone, and we were talking, and he told me he was, you know, in Milwaukee. He came over. We went out, got freaking sloppy drunk at a bar in a town north of where I lived. And about 1 o'clock in the morning, I remember telling him, dude, his name was Kirk, but everybody called him Gumby. I'm like, Gumby, you know what? Dude, I'm going to join the Army tomorrow. And he's like, you're not joining the Army tomorrow. I'm like, dude, I got to. He's like, why do you have to? I'm like, because, I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We're going to close the got down here at 2. I got to get up at 5 to go to work. So I got to have some excuse for my boss. So, I mean, I was half kidding about that. But I did. I got up and I told him, I called him and I said I wouldn't be coming in. And he's like, why? And it gave me great pleasure because this guy did nothing but talk smack about the Army and how much of a waste, he was drafted, and he said how much of a wasted time it was for his 2 years when he was in. And so I told him I was going back in the Army, and he's like, all right, well, good luck to you. I told him I'd even come in for 2 weeks if he wanted me to, and he didn't want me to, so good. Anyways, that's number 4. So the fifth one, and probably the most, I guess this isn't really too lame, but I was once lost in Iraq. Yes, I was lost in Iraq, not to no fault of my own. The way this happened was we had this convoy. This was the first day of the ground war, as they called it. We went into Iraq. We were in Saudi Arabia for the first. We got there in September, and the ground war started in February, I believe. So you do the math. But this is the first day. We drove in. We were driving all like afternoon to get to the border. We went across the border, and I know it was dark, and we couldn't stop for anything other than fuel. So we were at a fuel stop, and what happened was, the refueling went on, and 2 of the guys in one of the trucks ahead of us, which was way ahead of us, and it's pitch black. I mean, there's, you know, frickin', we're in Iraq now, and it's enemy territory or whatever. So it's pitch black, they're doing refueling, and the guys fell asleep at the wheel. And the guy that's in the passenger side fell asleep. So the convoy takes off, they're sleeping, they wake up, who knows how long. They realized that so they took off. They just went. And it's not like we're on roads, you know? So they took off, and they ran into the MPs, and the MPs told us we were going the wrong way. So maybe I'll tell that whole story. So now I got to tag 5 people. I see I'm running out of time on the video because I can never be brief. I'll put the 5 people in the description that I'm going to tag. And it's kind of a cop-out, but I can't frickin' do short videos. Or, why can't I get 5 things in 10 minutes? You would think I could. But anyways, that's my 5 things.